ridiculous accent.
I was reading. You're right. It's he's a white guy in brown face doing an Indian accent the whole
Right.
movie.
He's in brown face, right? The whole time, right? Because he's a white guy. He's a white guy.
Yeah, it's Mr. Stevens. Have you seen the Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah.
He's one of the cousins, the dumb
Okay.
cousins.
So, so not only is he not Indian, he's really Italian.
Yeah.
They might be. They might be. They might be. They might be. Help! Help us, please! Can't you see? They might be. They might.
Welcome back, Pack. It's your hosts, Van and Pat. Uh, this week we were talking about Short Circuit, but since the last episode we did, there's been a few delays in getting this one out. So if we're a little fuzzy on some details about this robot movie, I'm sorry.
Great movie, by the way. 100% the best movie we've watched so far.
Oh, it's yes, far and away the best movie you watched so far. It's even you didn't watch Wag the Dog, but this is even better Wag the Dog.
Yeah, I did not watch Wag the Dog. And I probably will never watch Wag the Dog.
Oh, you might pop on the cable one day and be like, "Oh, Wag the
No, I'll never watch it.
Dog." All right, fair enough.
So set the scene for us, Patrick. What are we getting ourselves into with this movie?
It's the middle of the Cold War. Russia and the United States at any point could be destroying each other. So Nova Robotics decides, you know what we need? We need robots on tracks who can make gin and tonics and deliver nuclear weapons.
That's exactly what they were doing.
So the movie starts with a military demonstration of Nova Robotics' new Saint prototype robot.
Mhm.
Saint standing for strategically artificial intelligence nuclear something. I forgot the T. Uh, artificially artificial intelligence nuclear transport. There it is.
That sounds good. I'm not gonna question you. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's what it is. So the state robots are you see these like military vehicles coming in and the state robots are in bunkers and they start blasting out the vehicles with their lasers.
Yeah.
And it's just a military demonstration for this like billionaire and his robotic company.
Yeah, but you don't know it's a military display or demonstration. Like if you've never seen the movie before in the opening scenes, you're probably like, "What are we watching? Terminator?" Like,
It is Terminator 2. It is the exact opening to Terminator 2.
right?
It's just like in in a
Yeah,
nice field.
yeah, exactly. You think robots have taken over and they're just killing casuals.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're right. It is Terminator. I was watching that scene and I was like, even if the robots don't sell, they've developed the greatest anti-artillery weapon in the history of the world, and that effing laser on the shoulder.
Dude, that laser is it can also be the most destructive laser or the most precise laser. Like it can do
Yeah,
both. I don't understand how it does it, but
it blows up a tank and cuts a guy's belt buckle off.
exactly. Like what's the how do you how do you judge it? Like is it up to the robots? Like I don't know, who knows?
Yeah,
It is the greatest weapon known to mankind.
yeah. You don't even need the robots.
You just need
Like,
literally the weapon on their shoulder is what you need.
yeah.
Let's focus on that and sell that.
Well, they need the robots because how are they going to deliver a nuke to Moscow after we've been bombed into smithereens?
It's true.
Like that's what the general was saying to that lady in the mixer afterwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's talking to her. The general's like, "Yeah, our plan is if we get bombed first, these guys will already be in Russia, and they're going to deliver a 25 megaton nuclear hit strike to Moscow. We call it Project Got You Last."
Once again, I didn't catch that in the movie.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Patrick's there. The knowledge, random dialogue, do backup characters.
Is this movie the idea of what constitutes life is like actually really well done and like
Yeah.
delivered in this film, but the politics are stupid as shit. Yeah, it's like I get what you're trying to do with these robots that like inherently wrong to kill human to be like kill.
Yeah.
It's like a life thing, but it's like people are still going to try to kill us. It's the middle of the Cold War. It's
Right.
an arms race. Like, anyways, so we're introduced to the very beginning of the movie. We're introduced to Austin Pendleton's character, who's the owner. I never get his name. I don't even remember, like, because he's such a neb. Like, I don't ever get his like name.
Who is Austin Pitt?
He's the owner of Nova Robotics. He's their boss.
Howard, right?
He's that. Yeah, Howard. Howard. That's his
Howard.
name.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
real, yeah, the real dweeby guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which would be
Austin
you.
Pendleton. Yeah, that would be me. I'd be played by Austin Pendleton in this live action,
That's Patrick.
and you'd be played by Jim Carrey.
Yeah, exactly. Ace Ventura.
Yeah, I'm Austin Pendleton. You can't be doing that, Jim. But yeah, Austin Pendleton spent his whole career doing roles like this, where he's just like, "Ugh, you can't be destroying my robotics."
He was in another movie with robots.
No, but he's in a Hulk Hogan movie called Mr. Nanny, where he plays the same
Oh,
character.
we've got to watch that movie.
Yeah,
I wanna watch another Hogan film.
yeah. He's the one who hires He hires Hulk Hogan to watch his children.
Oh, dude, I want to watch it.
And we're introduced to Fisher Stevens, Ben Jabat Tutuya, or whatever his name is, some Indian name.
Ridiculous accent.
I was reading. You're right. He's a white guy in brown face doing an Indian accent the whole
Right.
movie.
He's in brown face, right? The whole time, right? Because he's a white guy. He's a white guy.
Yeah, it's Fisher Stevens. Have you seen the Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah.
He's one of the cousins, the
Okay.
dumb cousins.
So not only is he not Indian, he's really Italian.
Yeah. Dude, racism is the longest tradition in the history of cinema, so don't worry about it.
Dude, that accent was ridiculous.
So I was reading two things. I was watching an interview he did with some old lady in Texas who used to interview movie stars,
Yeah.
Debbie Weingate or whatever, and he's like talking about how he spent time in India, and he like spent 2 weeks in India trying to learn culture and like the accent. And he had on set, well, this is for Short Circuit too. On set, he had an Indian guy who advised him on his accent
Really?
and his mannerisms. And the guy was like, "Yes, that's real good. You did real good. That's a real subtle guy."
Wasn't subtle.
No, and he was real proud of it because I read in Steve Gutenberg's book, his memoirs called The Gutenberg Bible.
Of course you read that.
Yeah, he was at a dinner party with Fisher Stevens, and Fisher Stevens was apparently super proud of his accent. He's like, "Yeah, here you go. This is my accent from the movie."
Okay.
But apparently his role was originally written for Bronson Pinchot, who was in Perfect Strangers in the 80s. And that's another movie where the whole joke is that the guy's a foreigner and he doesn't understand American culture, so he messes up phrases and he talks weird. And like he got out of the movie, instead of rewriting the character, they just kept in a foreign guy who talks weird and messes up phrases.
It worked well, I guess.
It's fine. He got a sequel that he stars in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just funny that he's in brown face the whole time.
Unapologetically.
Yeah,
It's so unapologetic, he does it in the scenes.
exactly.
So we're introduced to that. It's a successful test. It starts to rain. Everybody goes inside for the little after party, and the Austin Pendleton, Howard's character, has to go. Where is he? Where's Steve Gutenberg's character? I can't remember his name right now. Dr. Newton Crosby.
Newton Crosby.
And he's like, and Ben tells him he's sick, but he's not sick. He's trying to teach our future robot overlords how to play poker or whatever he's doing in there. And he's like the programmer of the robots, and like he doesn't want to interact. And he talks about how he like invented these robots to be like marital aid. He's a real sassy, jokey guy. You know, the Steve Gutenberg character
Yeah, I've only seen him in one other film. I think I
with the
can't tell.
Roxanne,
I can't tell you what the
with the
film was.
dolphin and the
It was the
the.
one with the two twins, the girls, and what's her name? Girl
Is
pop.
there a dolphin and a dog?
No. Uh, Chrissy. Is her name Chrissy? I don't know her name. She was from Look Who's Talking. What's her name?
Oh, Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, that movie that he starred in with her. What was that movie? It Takes Two. It Takes Two.
Oh yeah, the
That's the
camp one.
that's the only other movie
With,
I've ever seen with him in it.
I see that movie.
That was a
He was in the
great movie.
police.
Oh, Police Academy.
He was
Police Academy.
Police Academy. Yeah, the four Police Academy movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
And Three Men and a Baby.
And 3 Men and a Baby. That's right.
And
See, Patrick,
so
I watch
Steve
movies.
yeah, I'm proud of you. You remembered something this time.
I remembered something.
We gotta wait 2 weeks between you watching the movie and recording.
Yeah.
So Steve Gutenberg would get his first like major role in 78 with The Boys from Brazil. And he's killed in the first 5 minutes of that movie, but that's like his first like big picture he's in. And that movie's crazy. That movie's about these Nazis in Argentina who are cloning Hitler.
That sounds interesting.
It's actually pretty good, but it's crazy. Then he would find success with the Police Academy movies, and then he would spend the rest of the 80s being kind of a big star. He kind of falls off in the 90s for some reason. I don't know why. He seems like a really cool guy. He seems real decent. Like he does a lot for the homeless and kind of shit like that. So I have no problem with Steve Gutenberg in this movie.
It's got the seal of Patrick on him.
Yep, Steven Gutenberg is a good guy in my book. That's all I was trying. Fisher Stevens, I don't know yet.
So, I mean, yeah.
A lot of brown face.
A lot of brown face.
So after the demonstration, we find out that they plugged these $11 million robots out back, like lawnmowers, into a power charger.
Charging them. Yeah, how much do they cost?
$11 million, which is both a lot of money and not for what they've developed.
Right, but is that per one or altogether?
Per robot.
So 11 per robot.
Yeah.
And they just got them out back, plugged in,
Charging, like
charging.
yeah, like yeah.
That's how you
Like your cell phone.
That's how you take care of equipment.
And they don't have stations inside the building. They're all like plugged into a generator out back.
Yeah.
Which the $11 million point got to me because I was like, it's like hopeful, like that you could build something like that for $11 million and be like, also that the technology alone is worth billions.
Yes.
Billions of
That
dollars.
laser would be worth trillions.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you have 5 artificially intelligent robots who have the most powerful weapon in the history of the world on their back shoulders. Like,
And they listen to you.
yeah. And you're worried about $11 million. So that was bugging me, but that's a moot point. So, question for you.
Yeah.
God brings this robot to life, right? Is that what we're establishing here?
Is
that what's established this role movie?
I would assume. I guess. I mean,
because right before the storm happens, Austin Pendleton's like, "We can't control the weather. That's still in the man upstairs." Like,
okay. See, I don't keep up with these little dialogues. Like that.
Yeah, he's like, "That's still the man upstairs department."
Okay.
And then you cut to a robot being hit by a lightning bolt and coming to life.
Well, there you go.
So we're established that it's God in this movie bringing these robots to life, right?
Yeah, he's toying with this.
Okay. Number 5 comes to life, and he's like, "Where am I? What's happening? What is this little cleaning robot trying to push me into the?"
And who did his voice? I'm sure you know his name.
I did know his name up to 30 seconds ago when you asked.
Fair enough.
But it's also the guy who does the voice of Frank the Pug from Men in Black.
Really? It's 2 different.
Yeah, he's like a He's like a puppeteer. He's like a puppeteer in a pack of Fraggle, and he's like one of the Henson guys. Like he's like in that circle of like voice actors, and he's not quite Kevin Clash, but he's like
I don't even know who that is, Patrick.
he was the voice of Elmo who got accused of touching children.
Every time, man, the amount of stuff you know and just can remember. I think whenever you die, donate your brain to science. So they can learn.
Abby Normal.
So they can learn. Maybe they can help people like
Uh,
me.
then what happens? We're introduced to at the party. They're like, I only count 4 robots. Please tell me that's a mistake. No, you're right, sir. You only count 4 robots. I'm gonna not do the accent again.
Yeah,
So I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah, not only that, but that is a bad one. Do the accent. It's okay.
You take the cake. You will be awarded the cake. They're talking. Now they realize that one of the robots is missing because he's got pushed off into a truck and he's like gotten outside because he's alive now. So he's like real curious and going around after he's been hit by the lightning bolt. And we're introduced to G.W. Bailey's Schroeder.
Stroder or Schroeder?
It's Schroeder because I think I specifically know this because the joke is scrotum made by Ben. That's why they named this character Schroeder. Like this whole Schroeder name is for the joke scrotum.
Right.
Yeah. And that's played by G.W. Bailey, who is a longtime enemy of Steve Guttenberg in the Police Academy movies.
Oh, that's right. That's where he's from.
Yeah. He plays the same character in those. Mahoney! And he's got to change the name in this one. It's like,
just a different name.
Yeah, every time he sees him. Gutenberg! Yeah, so the reason he's named Schroeder is for the scrotum joke.
That would make sense.
Yeah, so they start looking for him. They're reading his programming. There's like, don't you want to be a pepper too? And it's because he's trying to get input. And this whole movie is about number 5 trying to get input to learn about being alive.
And learn, yes. Input.
Stephanie. So they realize he's outside of the facility.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, that's not good. So they sent their goons, they're like military squad. I don't know what they are. They're like a private
I don't either.
Security agency or whatever.
And what was that tank they were driving?
It's like a little anti-artillery vehicle.
And they're just driving that on the road.
Yeah, I think it's legal. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
This looks ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. Like, how often are you going to need an anti-artillery vehicle in the middle of San Francisco or Oregon or Washington or whatever the hell they are?
It just seems like you'd take a van. You're going to get a robot.
They do take several vans in this movie. There's a lot of vans in this movie.
There is a lot of vans in this movie.
Yeah, because like it's the only way you can transport that stupid robot puppet.
Yeah, because it's on tracks. Like, it doesn't seem practical. It doesn't seem like it can go upstairs.
They invent the idea of a food truck in the 1980s just so they can have a van for him to be.
Right, they came up with the idea of a food truck.
Because they knock him off a bridge and he lands on top of Stephanie's food truck.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, did they have food trucks in the 1980s like that? Was that a thing?
Yeah, I mean, you would know. I feel like
I did look it up, but like, I was like, did they invent the idea of a food truck just to transport this stupid robot?
It's a good idea.
So this is where we introduce the character of Stephanie. She is a crazy person.
Yeah,
she's
very crazy. I feel like she through the whole movie she's bipolar. It seems like.
Oh, she's definitely bipolar.
Like
she's
there's mood swings from like you wouldn't like she'd be happy one minute, and then like they cut to another scene, and she's completely changed, went off the rails. She's different.
I think that was what Ali Sheedy did in the 80s. I think that was her character.
Yeah, which I've only seen her in one other thing. And it wasn't in the 80s. It's probably one of my favorite TV shows. It was Psych. She plays a serial killer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She plays it
Play
really.
Stephanie, but
Yeah, it's literally the exact same character, just older with longer hair.
yeah, she became famous with The Breakfast Club
Okay.
and War Games.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
You not see The Breakfast Club?
I don't think that I have. It's one of those.
It's
It's a classic movie that everyone's seen, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, that's what made her famous. She also, like I said, she worked in War Games with the director of this movie, John Badham. So she's the star of this movie. She's 100% the
She's the lead here.
yeah, she's the star of this movie. Back to the Gutenberg Bible. Apparently, when Steve Gutenberg went to read for this movie, they had to get Ali Sheedy's approval of cast. So Ali Sheedy had to like you to get in this movie
Why? She was
because
that.
she was working with you in film.
She was
She
that.
had the power in this
She
film.
was that
Yeah.
popular.
She had John Badham's ear, I think.
Maybe she had something else.
I'm
you know
not
what-
going to accuse Ali. I'm not going to accuse of Ali Sheedy.
If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Ali Sheedy sex. Smelly, unshaven armpit sex.
Oh gosh.
Gross. Anyway, she's actually not unattractive. She's not. She looks crazy in this movie, but that's kind of like her character. But she's in another movie called Only the Lonely with that fat guy, John Candy,
John Candy, yeah.
where she's actually pretty attractive. I don't mean to be commenting on her attractiveness, but like, let's be honest. Like, she's a little wild in this film.
Yeah, it's very crazy.
Yeah. She drives back to her home, and you find out she likes to keep every stray animal in the history of the world.
Yeah, I feel like she had every animal you could think of. She had at her house.
Except for snakes. She
Yeah.
drew the line of snakes.
Yeah, those little bastards can die.
That's how she sounded. Oh man. She's got a dog that her ex-boyfriend's trying to sell to medical research, which I thought, I don't know why she dumped this guy. He's a hustler. That guy works.
he's out there trying to make some bread.
Yeah, that dude's always working an angle. That guy is.
By always. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how
I was-
they tie him back into the movie. Like he's here now, and then like when she gets home, and then they tie him back in later when he's trying to run a hustle on him again. He's just trying to make some money. I can respect it. I can respect it.
Yeah. I honestly like I get it. Like it's the 80s, like money's to be made.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you got way too many animals. I got an animal research facility that needs a test subject. What's the dog's name? Rufus or Drufus or
Patrick, I don't know. I didn't even know her name was Stephanie. Dude,
he literally says Stephanie like 83
Oh,
times in this
I
film.
don't remember that, dude.
He just goes, Stephanie.
Oh, I got a problem.
It's all right, man. I'm gonna give you some notes.
Yeah, send me
I'm gonna
over.
write you an outline.
Yeah, write it in crayon.
Like John, like Link Hawk.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael, I love you.
Daddy.
I forgot what initiates her finding the dumb robot.
Well, I think he's making noises out there he's in her food truck.
Yeah.
Like she's inside after she got rid of her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend because they're not dating. And I think she heard some banging around in there. She went to investigate.
Yeah, and she finds him and she thinks it's an alien.
Right.
Which I'm like, are you stupid?
Yeah, like at this point, yeah, dude, are you dumb? like, like, does it look like an alien?
It's a robot going input.
Yeah, input. Exactly. It's just all he's saying is input, input. It's like, oh, are you from another planet? Like, dude, are you dumb?
Is your like real body somewhere else? So you're just controlling this robot?
Right? It's like
Input,
ridiculous.
input. That's like information.
For the next like 10 minutes, she's convinced it's an alien life form.
Yeah. And she's like, I knew they would pick me. I was like, that's probably accurate, but
Because no one's going to believe this crazy lady.
she starts to take pictures of him. So he starts to watch television. Like that's where he's so like I don't know if you've ever seen the Michael Bay Transformers movies.
Of course, Patrick.
Of course.
Of
I don't
course,
know if that's a given for you. I don't know what's a given for what you've seen anymore.
it's true, dude. It's all over the place. But Transformers, of course. I've seen Transformers. Come on. Come on.
Well, man, I think like Michael Bay's like the Bumblebee character is based off this number 5 character.
Oh, because like all the how he talks with the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. That's how Johnny does it. Johnny Five does it a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
likes John Wayne a lot.
I mean, I like John Wayne a lot too, but I don't go around
Quote
blasting people's belts off with lasers.
and quoting John Wayne. All right, Pilgrim.
Where were we?
He was up watching TV
Yeah.
and reading books. He read every book in our house.
Yeah.
He could read a book in less than a second, apparently.
So the way they did that effect where he's running through the book is they just off screen had a hair dryer.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's a big animatronic puppet. So it's just like,
Oh, really? So nothing about it is robotic. It's actually a puppet.
yeah, it is like it's when I say a puppet, it's like a prop robot. Like it's got like maybe a
It's
few moving parts, maybe the eyelids and shit, but it's mostly a puppet on like on a little scooter or whatever those like hydraulics are.
right.
Yeah, they built an $11 million robot for this movie.
No, it just like is something like that now. Like I don't think you'd make it a puppet.
Right.
You could probably make it. Or you could probably make that now.
It'd be CGI
Yeah,
mostly. I think it was like
it'd be a different effect. Like I don't think it would get off the same effect being CGI though.
you could be one of those weird Japanese robots that like keep falling over and get back up, and they keep falling over and get back up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
They had like kick the soccer ball and shit.
yeah. But not 90s movies. Like some things are just better that are less live action. Like
No, I agree.
like the turtles.
Yeah.
The
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Yes.
Like there's a scene in Jurassic Park where what's his name is just looking down the woods at the raptor
Yeah.
and like he's about to shoot the raptor and then all of a sudden the other raptor pops up from beside him and he goes, "Clever girl."
Yeah.
And it's they just push a puppet on top of him.
Right.
It still looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. It sells it.
Yeah. But I mean, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, they just pushed a puppet on top of that guy.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're like, I've seen a lot of movies. I know what's happening.
Yeah, only you do that. Only you would analyze a film while you're watching a film.
I don't know if that's true. There's a lot of nerds out there. Like the YouTube is built on a pillar of nerd bodies.
Like, not once have I ever watched the movie and just said, "This. I wonder how they did that." I've never done that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never done that.
A lot of it's just dropping heavy puppets on people.
I've never asked myself questions while I'm watching a movie.
Oh. I don't think we would watch a movie together because I spend a lot of time talking.
I bet you do. I can picture you have like a little notebook, and you're like, "Huh, things to research later." How did they do this? Who's that guy? What did he play in?
So I was reading the Gutenberg Bible,
Okay.
and Steve Gutenberg was explaining that like he remembered a quote from Billy Wilder about directing Was it Billy Wilder? No, it was Jack Lemmon, and that when they were working on Some Like It Hot, that like Billy he had to be always be on key performance because they were shooting to get Marilyn Monroe's best take because she wasn't a very good actor. So like every time he had to be perfect every time just so they can get her best take. Does that make sense?
Yeah, what movie are you talking about?
Some Like It Hot,
Okay, I haven't
which
seen that.
is it's a 50s movie. It's about like it's not worse. It's a great movie, but we don't need to get into it right now. Uh Coming back to this film, he said it was very similar to what they had to do with the robot in this movie, the puppet, because the
Right.
director was filming for the puppet's best take. So everybody in acting at the scene with the puppet had to be on every time because you didn't know what the puppet was going to do because you had to act around the puppet. Does that
Right.
make sense? The puppet was the star of the scene, so when the best scene for the puppet worked, that's what you did.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That now that like when I rewatched this movie, the 3 times I watched it, I started watching that. I was like, oh. And that'll come play later when we get to the weird ass dance scene.
Yeah.
So he's getting input. They come to the crux, the most important scene in the film, I think, which is the grasshopper scene.
I don't remember that. Walk me through it. Tell me this is help me.
So they're outside. Stephanie and number 5 are literally like outside, and he spent all the night getting input, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
talking about like life or whatever they're talking about.
Right.
And he sees he crashes, right? He crashes, and she sees an over robotic sticker on him, and she's like, "Oh, you're just a stupid robot,"
Right.
because he's the stupid one. She's been thinking he's an alien the whole time,
Yeah, exactly.
and she's upset by this. So she calls Nova Robotics, and they get to talking, and he's like, "I'm alive," and she's like, "No, you're a robot." He's like, "I'm alive," and he sees a grasshopper hopping, and he starts hopping with the grasshopper,
Yeah.
and he accidentally crushes the grasshopper,
Okay, I vaguely remember that.
and then he's like, "Reassemble," and she's like, "No, you crushed it. You disassembled it. It's dead. It's no more." And she explains the concept of death, and she associates it with death and reassemble or
Yeah.
disassemble.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, "Disassemble," and then he
Hi.
freaks out.
Ay, 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 ay.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm alive." And he starts to know fear and shit.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that.
So that's the most important scene in the movie because that's the crux of the film is now like, oh, he's a living being. We got to protect him. He's not
Right.
just a robot.
Right. And
So you
it's
have to establish the two camps, which is one he's property and the other one he's. Well, actually, the second movie is about establishing what sentient life qualifies as property and what qualifies as free individual.
right.
They're actually pretty philosophically deep movies, but
only you would only you would think so. To most people they're just movies that just happen to have a robot in them who thinks he's alive. That's
yeah,
it. That's all it's got to
he,
be. That's all it's got to be, Patrick. That's
in
all.
the second movie he becomes a citizen.
Oh my gosh. It doesn't have to be some deep philosophical thing. It's a robot movie. Just let it be a robot movie.
No, the whole movie's about how like human life is about rhizomatic learning and like coming to acceptance of like what qualifies as like human consciousness
Yeah.
versus like artificial consciousness. This movie is like it's really trying hard. I don't know if it quite gets there like it needs to, but with a character named Schroeder and a guy in brown face, but
yeah, exactly. It's a cult classic.
they call Nova Robotics. And Ben and Steve Gutenberg's character get there first, right?
Yes.
And she has to convince them that he's alive. No, doesn't he get shut down first? What happens?
Yeah, I think they get there and she's talking to him and she's like, he's alive. He's like, no, he's just malfunctioning. And he pushes the red button and turns him off.
Yeah, that's right. How does he turn back on?
That's a good question. You know, I don't remember.
Yeah, because he gets scared. He fires his laser at the people. They hit him with like a bunch of rockets and shit.
Yeah.
I think he just wakes up. Like he
Yeah.
wakes up in the middle of the back of the van.
Well, something drops on it, I think. I think a tool falls and hits it.
No, he wakes up and he uses his eyebrow to move a tool onto his button.
Okay. Well, if you knew, why'd you ask me?
Because I don't remember if he like how he woke up. I think did he just wake up?
I think he just woke up, yeah. He's alive, man. You can't turn him off.
Maybe that is what they're trying to say in that. Maybe like his consciousness is like his body's turn him offable, but like
He's
his
alive.
his soul that is in his eyebrows
Is alive.
is
I'm alive.
Stephanie.
Input.
So Ben and the one of the security guys are having this long conversation about some kind of like trip the guy was taking. I was just like,
That guy, that security guard, I don't know his name. You probably know his name, know his whole backstory. He just looks like an absolute dweeb. He's like,
yeah, but
if you think of like a big, like just doofus, like a tall, beefy doofus, this guy.
yeah, but he was like, took advantage of every second he had.
He did. He stole the scene in every ones he was in.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to take every minute of this scene
Well,
and just talk about my wife's trip to like Alaska or whatever I'm talking
right. Then you got brown face over there.
about. Good old Fisher Stevens. Michelle Pfeiffer's boyfriend from 88 to 92.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know why I threw that in there.
Why do you have this? Why do you know their backstories? Patrick, why? It's a curse, isn't it? It's a curse, isn't it?
A little bit, but it's all right. I do this to let it out, to tell somebody these stupid things. That's you, man.
I know.
You're my you're the priest to my confession. There is another Fisher Stevens movie I want to do called Hackers.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
Patrick.
I'm sorry. It's it's an Angelina Jolie movie where she's a hack, like they're like underground street hackers,
Okay.
and they're like cyberpunks, and they gotta like try to take down this evil corporation run by a super hacker. It makes more sense when you watch the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds right on the. It's living up to its name.
Yeah, a lot of hacking.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie might be the most beautiful woman in the world in that movie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and I don't say that lightly about Angelina Jolie because I don't really find her that attractive in any other movie, but like in that movie, she's gorgeous.
Can't
It's
comment
also
on
got.
it.
Why you haven't seen it?
No, Patrick, I haven't seen
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm talking.
it.
It's also got Matthew Lillard in it, who is Shaggy from the Scooby Doo movies, and
I know him.
yeah, and Scream. It's a good movie. We should watch it at some point. Anyways, back to this dumb movie.
They're in the back of the van. Dude's talking about Alaska.
Yeah, back in the van. He's like, get out, go back. Goes back to Stephanie's place because it's the last place. So this is the beginning of the weirdness in this movie for me.
So when he gets out of the van, or not gets out of the van, he kicks them out of the van, and he starts
Yeah.
driving. He drives the van back to Stephanie's, right?
Yeah. It's night. Stephanie's in the bath.
Right.
She's like naked. He's like, ooh, Stephanie.
Change colors.
Nice software.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Nice software.
I was like, what is going on?
What are they doing?
Yeah. So then they start dancing.
Yeah.
Like at night. and spinning around. And the scene is heavily implied that she sleeps with this robot.
Yeah, I could see that.
It like it cuts from them dancing like intimately at night to like him making her breakfast in the morning.
Right. Like something was happening.
Yeah, like what happened? Like,
Yeah, they're just up. They're dancing. They're watching. Yeah, they're listening to some love songs.
yeah,
They're feeling good. They're
yeah, they're
vibing.
having a good
They're
time.
vibing. They're vibing.
You're more than a woman to me.
Input.
Input what?
Input. We're stupid.
That's what happened in the scene. I'm not being inappropriate. The scene was inappropriate.
Yeah, blame the scene.
So
They have sex.
they have sex. The next meanwhile, Austin Pendleton's character has put a bounty out for number 5, a $50,000 reward. And
$25,000
you know what?
reward.
Huh?
I think it's $25,000.
Was it 25,000?
I
Because
believe
he's a cheap ass. So $25,000 reward. And guess what? This free money he's bringing around.
Dirtbag.
Dirtbag.
What
The
was his name?
ex-boyfriend.
What was his name? Foster.
I don't. Yeah, Foster sounds right.
I don't think it was.
Foster sounds like
I don't think
a
his name
douchebag.
was. I don't think his name was Foster, but
It was Cody.
something.
Trying to think of like a dirtbag name. Blake.
We'll go with X. I don't think she actually
We went
calls him
X.
a name. I think she just calls him X.
No,
Or
no, she yells his name a few times. I just don't remember what it was.
yeah, I don't either.
Daughtry?
I definitely don't think it's Daughtry. We don't need your playlist.
Oh, did we talk about how he gets his name in this movie? It comes from that song, Who's Johnny, that's playing in the movie.
We haven't got there yet because that scene hasn't came up yet.
No, it's earlier. The Who's Johnny song's playing earlier in the movie.
Oh, that's when
It's
that's on his way back to Stephanie's. Yeah,
yeah, it's DeBarge.
I don't know the song. Never heard it before.
It's Who's Johnny? She said to me, Who's Johnny? With a smile, she said.
Good song.
I have it on I have my Spotify playlist now.
What a loser.
So DeBarge appears quite a few times in 80s films. Like he's in his song Rhythm of the Night is in The Last Dragon. And like it gets his music gets stuck in your head, man. It's the rhythm of the night. Good stuff. Like, anyways,
Ex-boyfriend sees that there's a reward.
shows up. He
shows up.
Hammer locks her.
He shows up with a hunting rifle.
Yeah, like a 22.
Yeah.
Like, what's he gonna do with a 22?
I don't know. Especially with that laser that guy's got.
Yeah, like it wasn't a high powerful wire, was it? It could have been any more than like a.
Dude, I don't know rifles, but I don't know. It could have been.
You're right. It was like a varmint gun.
Yeah. It had a scope on it, had a bolt action. It could have been a number of things.
Yeah. But it was a hunting rifle. He's gonna take down this robot with a deer gun. And he hammer locks her. Like he puts her arm behind her back, like a police control move. I was like, that's a little aggressive. Like number 5 doesn't clock that's a bad situation.
Because he's
until he's like
he comes up there with breakfast.
Yeah, he wants some breakfast, random guy,
right?
Walking Stephanie. So that happens, and she's like, "Tell him where you're taking him. You gotta be honest with him, or it's not gonna work." And he tells him, and then Johnny Five freaks out, but he doesn't run away. He goes out and destroys this guy's hot rod in like 33 seconds.
Disassemble.
Disassemble. And like, I know it's like a fantasy robot movie, but like the amount of time that it took him to disassemble that.
Yeah, disassemble
that car,
that Firebird or Trans Am, whatever it was.
Yeah, like even I was like, that's a little silly. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like
I don't care.
You would need a team of things.
I don't care if he's a super robot. He's not doing that.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds, it took them from walk to the kitchen to outside.
He would have to be like faster than light. Like he'd have to be like hypersonic fast. And we've seen him move. He's not that fast.
I think they actually clocked him one time, and they said he can only go up to 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So he's not fast.
No, he's
And
not.
at no point in this movie does he move fast.
Unless it's a smash cut from where you don't see him to when you see him.
Exactly. He's not quick.
No.
That was a ridiculous scene.
So they have to. The boyfriend starts shooting at him. He's reflecting the bullets dangerously with a hubcap.
I don't think it's a hubcap. Looks more like maybe it's either a flywheel. I don't know a lot about cars.
It wasn't a hubcap.
I definitely don't think it was a hubcap. Dude had rims on his car.
Oh, okay. I didn't really look at it.
It was some metal from the vehicle.
Yeah. And he's just like, he fires at Johnny Five. Johnny Five reflects it with his like super fast reflexes. Remember, this is the robot that fell off the porch,
Right.
who's now reflecting bullets.
he can tell where shots are coming from. He can reflect them.
I half expected him to reflect a bullet into Stephanie's brain.
I honestly thought that too while I was watching it. I was like, maybe these would be concerning about where these bullets are actually going.
Yeah, like Ricochet will kill her. Like, and then Johnny Five's like celebrating, and then douchebag ex-boyfriend hits him with a stick and knocks him over. And then he shoots his belt buckle off with his laser weapon, and then the boyfriend runs off. And that was the most exciting fight scene in the movie.
Was legit the only fight scene in the movie.
No, he fights those three other robots at that point.
Oh, that's true.
Hey, Moto Lips, your mother was a snowblower.
Yeah. He had some great lines. I don't remember any of them, but they were funny. They had me laughing. That was one of them.
Yeah.
Your mother's a snowblower.
That's a good line. That's funny.
It is a good one. I'm about to write that one down.
So they go on the run. She has to negotiate with Pendleton. Pendleton sends Gutenberg and Ben to meet with her. So the movie at this point becomes about convincing Steve Gutenberg that Johnny Five is alive.
Right. Because they think he's the only one that can stop them from disassembling Johnny Five.
Yeah, like if they can reason with him, then they will. So she asked to meet with him privately and alone, but Schroeder. So they meet at a restaurant. They're having like a nice little date. The whole movie, Ben has been making creepy suggestions that she likes Steve Gutenberg's character.
Which is his name? What's his name?
I said it earlier. Dr. something Newton.
Newton.
Yeah.
Crosby.
Newton Crosby. Dr. Newton Crosby. And Crosby and Stephanie are like talking in the restaurant, and like I am confused. I confused Short Circuit 2 with this movie because I thought the brown face character played by Fisher Stevens had a lot more to do in this movie.
Yeah,
but he doesn't. He's not in it very much.
That's funny because when I requested to watch this movie, I've seen this movie before, but I think it's ultimately Short Circuit 2 that I recall.
Short Circuit 2 is actually, I think, the better movie.
Yeah, I remember watching that one a lot more than this one as a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that, where I thought that Ben was the main character.
Yeah.
In this movie, and I'm like, he has a very small part in it.
Yeah, it's just him delivering racist mispronunciations.
Yeah, exactly, and sexual humor.
Yeah, which his character in the second movie is not about. He's like a super shy guy in the second one who's like really humble and nice.
Yeah.
His character does like a 180 from this movie to that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. You nailed it.
Thanks, bud. I'm glad you're here with me. Anyways, where were we at?
They're in the
Schroeder is secretly infiltrated their dinner.
Strodom is there.
That joke does work. It's funny.
It does. Strodom is there infiltrating them.
Yeah. She's like, you set me up. And then the robot busts out because he's defeated the three robots outside, which has been going on while they've been talking.
Yeah.
Is that Johnny Five has been battling the other four robots.
Yeah.
He busts through the wall and saves Stephanie. And the three robots come up and they're like, he's dressed them like the Three Stooges.
Right, he programmed them to be like, I don't know the Three Stooges names, but those characters.
Larry, Moe, and Curly.
Yeah, I knew you knew.
Does that make you mad?
No, it doesn't actually. It makes me happy for you that your brain works properly.
It's okay, bud.
I think
I could.
I should know that. The Three Stooges, I should know their names.
You should, but you're a man. You're a man with three children. And where were we?
Johnny Five breaks in the hotel, not the hotel, restaurant to save Stephanie.
She's real upset. She thought she liked Newton Crosby. Blah 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 blah. He kidnaps Newton Crosby. They go up into the mountains, and like he starts doing a bunch of tests. It's just him, Stephanie, and the robot, and they have to do a bunch of tests to like prove his existence, like he's alive.
Right. It's just mostly just Crosby trying to put or ask. He's asking Johnny Five a bunch of like questions. How would you characterize this? Telling him jokes, trying to get a reaction.
Yeah.
And the only one that seems to work to prove that he's alive is a ridiculous joke.
An anti-Semitic joke.
Yes. And you know that joke and you can perform it for us now.
A priest, a pastor, and a rabbi are on a golf course, and the pastor says they're trying to decide how much money should go to them and how much money should go to the church. And they like the pastor goes, let's draw a circle and throw the money up in the air. What lands in the circle will go to the church. And the priest says, no, let's draw a circle, and whatever lands outside of the circle will go to the church. And the rabbi goes, no, let's just throw it up in the air, and whatever God wants, God keeps.
And this had Johnny Five cracking up.
Yeah, this anti-Jewish
had the
this
robot
greedy Jew joke
had Johnny Five dying, and at this point,
yeah.
Cosby knows he's alive.
Yeah, spontaneous emotional response.
He's got it. He's alive. By God,
he's alive. He exists.
By God, he's
then
alive.
Immediately the finale of the film happens.
Yes, because at this point, how they found him, I don't know. He doesn't have the tracker on him anymore because he got rid of it.
Yeah,
I don't know how they found him. They don't say. They just all pull up.
Yeah, he hides in the van, and the van's shaking because he's scared, but it's not because he's actually scared.
Exactly.
And they're like, "Let him come out! Let him come out!" And they surrounded him with like an airplane with soldiers and scrotums and Pendletons and he's like, "No, he's alive! He's alive!" And they sneak up on him and they pin him to the ground. They pin Ali Sheedy and Steve Gutenberg to the ground.
I love how you always call them by their real names and not the names of the characters from the movie.
I'm sorry, I just
like you do that with every podcast we've done. You call it by the I don't know them as anyone else but Crosby and Stephanie. I don't think anyone's gonna know them as actors. Is that how your brain operates?
Yeah, it's hard. So I gotta so from now on, I'm gonna try to keep. It's hard for me to remember the character names.
It's just funny.
So I'll try. Johnny Five shoots out the back of the truck. Right, he's like making a break for it, and they're firing machine guns at him.
It's like bonsai.
Bonsai, yeah. Bonsai's out of the back of the truck, and he's like, "We got him this time!" And an attack helicopter loaded with rockets.
I'm pretty sure it's a Apache.
Yeah. Why do they have an Apache helicopter? I don't know.
And why all of a sudden is it okay to shoot at this robot that cost you $11 million? As before, you had a huge deal.
Because they can't deactivate the weapon on it.
The laser?
Yeah, that laser is a big problem. Because if that laser is used to if the robot does obliterate a school bus of kids or something,
or if the Russians get a hold of it,
or the Russian, yeah, the technology alone is the U.S. government should be involved. Schroeder and his weird paramilitary forces involved, and not just the straight up U.S. government.
Right.
I don't know.
To get that laser, yes.
Yeah, the laser alone is And they have 4 more of them, and they have all the technology. They don't really need the prototypes.
That's true.
They know they work. They have all the diagnostics, and it's just extra $11 million. So it's not like they built one and they can never build one again.
Yeah, I guess it's true. I mean, another $11 million.
Yeah, but they're gonna make 200 billion.
Yeah, it's true. Well played.
Yeah, like
Well played, Patrick.
it's like the robot doesn't make isn't valuable.
Exactly.
What's valuable is the IP of the laser and the artificial intelligence chips inside of it. So it's better to destroy it than it get away in the hands of Russian, or they cause a giant liability problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they blow the shit out of the robot.
He takes a bazooka to the face.
Yeah.
End of movie.
Ally Sheedy's like, Stephanie's like, no.
Yeah. Everyone's sad that Johnny Five's dead.
They steal the van they were driving in,
Yeah.
and they drive off. Schroeder's fired because for some reason Pendleton's upset that the robot was blown up.
Even though this whole time he's been trying to blow him up.
Actually, I think he's been trying to avoid it, but like I actually agree with Schroeder in this situation. Is like we need to get rid of that fucking robot.
It's dangerous.
He's actually right. Like he might be a douche, but like this whole movie he's 100% been accurate with what should be going on.
Yeah, you can't have that laser running around on a free will robot that
Yeah,
can decide to
he's
do whatever he wants. Can literally melt anything.
yeah, he's not wrong. Like
No,
I
no,
like
not at all.
this is
Not at all.
another one of those movies where the villain's like 100% accurate.
Yeah, that's the last what we were talking about. What was it? Over the top, the grandfather.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
he wasn't wrong. No, they got the van.
Yeah, they got the van, they're driving, and Johnny Five has hidden himself in some kind of hole under the van.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that. I don't know where that came from because he's a big fucking robot.
He's a 6 foot robot.
Yeah.
Or 5.5 foot robot. He's like as tall as Ali Sheedy or Stephanie is,
Jesus Christ.
and
Yeah.
he can't like
Yeah. Where
curl
would?
up in
Yeah.
the fetal position,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand where he went, where he hid. I don't know.
and it elevates up, so it goes under the van.
Right.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. It wasn't possible.
Yeah. And they're like, "What? How are you still alive?" He's like, "Johnny Five still alive."
Johnny Five's alive.
Yeah. And then
And apparently they're going to Montana to live on
yeah, because they get married.
40 acres.
You want to come live with me on this farm with your animals and my robot?
Right.
Sure.
I know we even haven't been on our first date yet, but that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we just met an hour ago. And like you go into the second one and you realize they've had a happy, successful relationship up to that point. So that's the film. Your thoughts?
I mean, like I said when we started, it's without doubt the best movie which let's be fair, it wouldn't take much to be better than any of the movies we watched so far.
Yeah, like
like it wouldn't take. I mean, look at the lineup that we watched. Although Over the Top was good.
Over the Top is a good movie, but this is better.
Yeah, it's definitely better. But
I don't think it's more entertaining. It's a better made movie.
Yeah. Overall, just consistent with the plot, such and such.
Acting.
You had some big hitters. The guy that plays Crosby, pretty famous. I don't know his name, other than Crosby.
Steve Guttenberg.
Other than Crosby.
Dude, he's in like 4 like huge franchises in the 80s.
Yeah.
Not huge franchises, but successful franchises. Police Academy, Short Circuit, Cocoon, 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah, he's popular.
Yeah, he's a big star in the 80s.
Yeah, this movie.
You should learn his name. I'll send you the book.
I'm not gonna read it. Don't bother. But no, this is without doubt the best movie. I love the movie, which I'm realizing now. I think it was Short Circuit 2 that I loved.
Yeah, I love that movie too. It is the better movie.
I don't remember, like as I was watching this halfway through, it's like I remember this movie, but I don't remember it watching it a lot. I remember it was the second one that I was obsessed with.
Yeah. Los Locos kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But all right, yeah, it's a great movie.
yeah.
Definitely got to watch it. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch Short Circuit.
I Johnny Five is my favorite robot in fiction,
Of all
like
time.
film.
Of all time.
Yeah, Johnny Five is my favorite robot,
Like
like altogether.
he takes I mean R2D2, CP3PO, he's better than all of them.
Yeah, like I
He's
I
got
don't really care
he's got everything.
R2D2 all that much.
I don't either. I mean, he's Johnny Five's got everything. He's got a cool name. He quotes, he's got all the jokes.
Yeah, yeah, he's my favorite robot in fiction. Like the close second would be Schwarzenegger's Terminator and Terminator 2,
Okay.
but then it's Johnny Five, and then the Terminator from Terminator
That's
2.
it for him. That's it.
Yeah, that's my top two robots. Welcome to Patrick's top two robots.
What a great list.
Number one, Johnny Five.
Input.
Number two, T800, T850 from Terminator 2. I'll be back.
Great movie.
Oh yeah, Terminator 2 is the greatest action movie ever made.
Of ever made?
Ever made, dude. It's perfect.
You go that far? Ever made? I
Yeah,
guess
it's
I'll give you that. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie.
no romance, best chase scenes,
Oh, for sure.
gunfights.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great movie.
Maybe the greatest scary villain.
So for our next movie, what would you want to watch? Your ban has been lifted. It's been 2 movies. You're able to make a recommendation. Granted, we may not go with a recommendation.
Oh, I was gonna say because I was gonna get it banned again.
You might get banned.
Yeah, I might get banned again. Because I
Tread,
wanted to do
tread lightly.
the Mangler.
I don't think so.
It's Toby Hooper's movie about a killer laundry machine.
I don't think so.
I already ordered it, so we're doing the Mangler.
What else you got?
Can we do the Mangler?
I don't want to do the Mangler.
Come on, it's about an evil laundry press.
Why would anyone want to watch that? I don't want to watch that. I'll just show up. I'll just show up and you can just tell me about it.
We'll save it for another. We'll save it for another time. Dude, I love that movie. What would you want to do again? You tell me.
We've had a couple requests to do Big Trouble Little China, but you said you recently watched that movie.
I can do it. I would like to do Big Trouble in Little China, but
Honestly, you pick though. I don't care. You want to watch the stupid, stupid laundromat movie? I don't care.
we could save the Mangler. We'll do Big Trouble in Little China.
All right, Big Trouble Little China, and I have actually never seen this movie.
Here for a treat. It's the second best of the John Carpenter, Kurt Russell movies.
I don't know who John Carpenter is, Patrick.
He's the director of Big Trouble in Little China.
I gathered.
I don't know else how to explain him. You now know who John Carpenter is?
The director. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the premise?
Look how easy that is.
What's the premise of the movie?
Kurt Russell is a trucker. He stops in San Francisco to do some gambling with his Asian friend, and he gets caught up in the middle of a mystical kung fu battle between two warring gangs.
Okay, that sounds amazing. I'm glad we're doing this and not this laundromat movie.
Yeah.
that sounds more my speed. I might watch
Yeah.
that tonight, actually.
It's amazing. I watched it a lot. It's good.
That sounds amazing.
You know what Jack Burton always says? Who's Jack Burton? Me, asshole.
I don't know what that is. Is that from the movie?
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Sign it off. Next week we're doing Big Trouble in Little China.
Can't wait.
All right, cowboy.
Later.